I don't care if it's me or if it's some other truly qualified and certified person, but I've worked now with MIT, Johns Hopkins, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Stanford University, UCSD, University of Arizona, overseas organizations. Everyone who looks at this stuff goes, it's totally hackable. It's like anyone who's even a moderate grade hacker can wipe this stuff out if they want.
So everyone knows it's hackable except for Diebold?
No, they're lying. I mean, let me make it clear. They're lying when they say it can't be hacked.
Well,
lying.
Testimony.
Diebold has repeatedly said you can't introduce malicious code in the system. That's a lie. But what's more importantly, now, because of what happened in Leon County, Florida, where a very simple group of hackers in less than a half hour completely changed the entire system, Diebold has now sent a formal letter from the general counsel's office to Ion Sancho, an elected official involved with county elections, saying you've introduced malicious code in the system that can't be detected. Correct. I mean, I've been waiting for them to admit it. At least now, in one case, in one county in Florida, Diebold is on the record to a public official, CC'd to many other public officials, saying malicious code's been introduced into the system that cannot be detected. That's exactly my point. It can be. That's correct. Diebold is now admitting, at least in one case, that it had happened. And it can happen in any computer, in anybody's home computer, in any major banking computer. We are constantly doing battle with this. That's the reality.
So one would think that Congress should pass legislation to
create an audit. Congress should say the Help America Vote Act. And see, I want Diebold to be a winner in this. They're selling Help America Vote Act. Congress appropriated $4 billion to go to basically 3 or 4 companies to sell all this gear. Great, super, God bless you. Go sell the gear, I support it. Take your $4 billion, I love it. But let's go ahead and have auditable processes.
Wait a minute, so HAVA is taking taxpayer dollars,
right,
purchasing equipment,
right,
that has proprietary software. We can't look at the code.
They claim. Correct.
We can't see how votes are collected. We
right.
can't check out the security.
Right.
And they're supposed to help America vote and secure elections?
Taxpayer money for secret voting. Yes.
And
that's what's happening.
Congress
is trying. I mean, Bill Nelson's some of the offices have reached out recently. I mean, this is how we're talking. I mean, the offices started to reach out to experts saying something's not right, and I'm like, duh. It's like any computer expert that you would have asked would have told you this is ridiculous, but you didn't ask before you wrote HAVA. So what you've got is you've got these guys trying to sell gear. Let's put a totally positive spin on it. Let's just say Diebold's just desperately trying to sell stuff as fast as they can. They never really rang out the software, even though they have 50 years of doing it with banking machines. They didn't do a good job of voting machines. Okay, fine. Maybe it was a mistake. Great. Let's all admit it. Let's go sell this hardware and actually put auditable software in it. That's all I ask. All the stuff that's currently deployed by Diebold with hardware, we've already looked at it. We've looked at the actual hardware and said, you know something, we could make an auditable digital trail for this. It's not hard. And anybody from the public could then confirm that their vote is in the tabulator correctly. And if it's not, they could go back with their receipt and say, hey, my receipt doesn't match the electronic tabulation. What's wrong with that?
It's a fabulous idea. So let me ask you, if you were able, well, you can create the software.
Sure.
If you had support, would you be willing to give it to Diebold?
I'd give it away. There's no patent involved. There should be a public service.
Okay.
Voting should be, it's like, let's face it, we're all part of a democracy. We would develop the architecture on that, help lead the thing, and just make it freeware. Any county election official should be able to say, wow, I've looked at all the code, I can personally see it, I may not understand it, which is their point. Well, sure, but any expert they bring in can read and go, yeah, that's good. They can bring in some local kid from the university to confirm it. They can bring in a professor from the university. There's people who live in virtually any county who actually understand enough about coding now. They can come and go, okay, that's pretty good, clean code. Because remember, all it has to do is add +1 or not +1. This is not a complicated program.
It's an abacus.
It's an abacus. It's a basic abacus. Anyone could inspect the code, but more importantly, after every vote, an election official can come forward and say, well, general public, the voting is done and 128,216 of you voted in the county, and here is the codes of everybody's vote, and there's the codes. It's a printed code, and then you can look at how every precinct voted, and you can go find your receipt and find your personal code to make sure it's right, and anybody who finds a mistake can go, I found a mistake. I mean, it's simple. It's simple.
Okay, Okay, so the answer would be then for the Diebold's and the ES&S
and they could both use it. They could all use it. They could all do the same process. And Congress should mandate to say there should be a citizen auditable voting process. If a citizen cannot understand it and a citizen cannot audit it in the final process, it's unsecure.
Because it's that, it should be that
It is that simple. It is that simple. Whatever they're doing to make it complex is not for good reasons.